Welcome to the channel. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to change the center differential fluid for your 5th gen 4Runner. This is the limited trim 4Runner, so might be a little bit different than yours. It's not a true 4x4, it's actually a full-time all-wheel drive, but you have the ability to lock the center differential, and that's the fluid that I'm going to be changing. Toyota recommends that you change your transfer case or center diff fluid every 30,000 miles if you do a lot of towing, or 60,000 miles if you don't. My 4Runner is a 2019 and it just hit 70,000 miles, and I don't believe that the fluid has ever been changed. I didn't buy this new, I bought it used about 2 years ago and it had about 50,000 miles on it. And I don't actually do any towing, but I do some light off-roading on the weekends, so it shouldn't be too big of a deal that I haven't changed this yet. Right here you can see all of the tools that you're gonna need for this project. So I actually got the Red Line MTLV fluid. You're gonna also need a torque wrench. You're gonna need a drain pan. A breaker bar is helpful, but you don't actually need one. You might be able to get the plugs off with just a regular wrench, but I do think a breaker bar might make it a little bit easier. You need a 24mm socket. Also, you're gonna need a Pennzoil fluid pump. Then you're gonna need 2 crush washers. All of the products that I'm going to be using in this video to change this fluid, I'm going to have linked down in the description below. But this should be a relatively easy project. I don't think it's going to take too long, so let's not waste any more time. Let's get right into it. All right, so this big thing right here is the center differential. Right up here where the breaker bar is pointing, that is going to be the fill. And down here, this is going to be the drain. So this is super important. Make sure you don't take this one off first. Right, and all the fluid drains out, because if you can't get this one off, that means you can't replace the fluid. So start up here, open up the fill, and then once that's opened up, you can come down here and open up the drain. So let's go ahead and try to pry that fill valve off. Okay. Yeah, it's a little bit easier on this side. So now it should just twist off. Might be a little bit of leakage, but we'll see. Oops. Nope, no leakage. All right, so this is called a crush washer. You're gonna also need to replace that. Here's this little plug. We don't need that just yet. All right, so that should be the easy part. Now, we need to get our drain pan in position. Let's go ahead and try to get this valve off, and this is where all the fluid should come out. Probably gonna make a pretty big mess, but let's see. Yep, there we go. Not too bad. Shot right into it. You might want to wear gloves, but I didn't have any. So just let that fully drain out. Also, some other stuff you might need: paper towels. Yeah, and just give it a little time, and then also you can, once it's fully done, you can give it a little wipe down and just clean off this area a little bit more. Just like with our fill valve plug, you'll want to replace this washer. It's called a crush washer. So whenever that's fully done draining, I'll just pop this back on, and then I'm going to actually torque it down to spec. All right, so at this point, this is an extremely slow trickle, so I'm gonna go ahead and put this valve back on. There's very little bit of fluid left in there. I'll tighten it up a little bit, but now I've got my torque wrench set to 27 foot-pounds of tension, so now I'll just tighten that up. There it is. Got that right at 27 foot-pounds of torque. Just give it one more little wipe off. Now it's time to go in and fill up the fluid. All right, so I've got this little pump here. Stick this down into there. Put the cap back on. Now I'm just gonna pump this entire quart of fluid into that center diff. All right, first bottle, totally done. So with this second bottle, we're basically just gonna pump until fluid starts to drip out of here. So It hasn't started that yet, so I still have a little bit more to go, but I'm not gonna use this entire bottle, just enough until it starts overflowing just a little bit. I don't want to do it a lot, but we're gonna fill it all the way up and then we'll stop. Oh, there we go. So you see how that's starting to drip down a little bit? That means we are definitely full. All right, oops. Clean up this mess. Let me try that off. So yeah, it's gonna do that same little thing. It's slightly overfilled right now, so it's just gonna continue to drip down for a little bit. Once it's done dripping, or just here in a minute or two, I'll go ahead and put the fill valve back on and then torque it down to spec as well. All right, that looks pretty good. So again, make sure you're replacing your crush washer. Go ahead and start threading this back on. I'll get it tightened with my hand. Wipe down this area again. Then I'll get the torque wrench back out and torque it to 27 foot-pounds. There it is. Right there. Torqued, and that's it. Job's done. All right, already done. Even with filming, that only took me about 20-25 minutes. Pretty simple job. As long as you have the right parts, you could probably handle that yourself. Again, if you're interested in any of the tools that I use in this video, be sure to check those out down in the description below. Also, if you want to watch any more of my 4Runner videos, be sure to watch any of the 2 videos floating right here on your screen. Thank you so much for watching all the way until the end of this video. It really does mean a lot to me. Hope that you have a fantastic day, and I will see you in the next video.